And those stars all up and down the sky just waiting for you. Whoa.
I was diagnosed with cancer, and the type of cancer I have affects the body chemistry, which can bring on anxiety and depression. That's when I realized that things weren't like they used to be. It was like something just happened. I started dealt with an anxiety attack. I know that a ton of people have had anxiety attacks, and probably just as scary as mine, but mine stuck. It never went away. Like, I just kept having it over 24 hours a day. I was having anxiety in my sleep. That's where I started Xanax, and I started Paxil.
Okay.
Now, if I would have done what the doctor told me to do, and just take Paxil and the amount of Xanax that they prescribed, I would have done fine. But there was a point in my life where I was partying a lot. I was going out, and Wednesday night was someplace, Thursday night was some other place. Now, I was still working full time. I had a surfboard company, and there were surfboards at that time. But that was my passion, was going out and trying to meet as many girls as I could. But I started thinking, what makes it even more fun? This drug makes me feel good. So, like a lot of other people, most people that I know, started doing both.
Right.
And it's just a whole nother level of feeling good. Don't realize when you're feeling so good is how bad you're gonna feel when it's done. But I was partying so much, it's kind of like it's just all a hangover, and then you're going out the next day.
Right.
When you realize that taking 6 pills a day is probably not a good idea, and you should start, backtracking, is when I realized that I had a problem. Especially if you're living like I was living, and having fun with your friends at the bar scene all the time. You're all out of whack anyway. It's just from feeling crappy on alcohol and getting up and trying to work. It's just like you don't realize that some of that bad feeling is your body's throughout the day is starting to crave that drug, and you're not feeding it to it. Your mind's just saying, hey, this is just a hangover, or it's the alcohol that's making me feel this way. But then you go for a couple of weeks and not drink, and you still feel like crap, and your mind's not right. Then you start realizing that the same thing that's making me feel so good is making me feel really bad. Yeah, it destroyed my family.
Okay.
And
right.
It was married. I had a wife that stuck with me through cancer, and all I could think about was just trying to make myself feel good. And the stuff, what I was going out and drinking and partying with my friends, and thank God I can't remember half the things I did. Like I said before, those are the same type of things that don't only destroy your own life, they really hurt other people that are around you.
Right.
And my wife put up with it for a long time, and it just it's hard to be with somebody like that that's not only never the same person, because their mood swings are all over the place, but not coming home at night. It's, you just lose touch with reality. I found a good psychologist. I started going and seeing an actual psychiatrist instead of my doctor, and my goal was to get on a medication to make me feel good. Well, I was on all kinds of different drugs, for depression and, for the cancer, so it's kind of like opening up a combination lock with just one number is real easy to figure out, but when you have 8 different drugs and they're all could be counteracting with each other one way or another, you don't know what's causing you to feel so horrible and crazy. Like, looked normal on the outside, but I was so uncomfortable on the inside that, I mean, suicide was on my mind. I could be having a normal conversation with my mom or a friend or anything, in the back of my mind, I just felt like I was trapped in a horrible person's body. And the whole, basically what I wanted after my psychiatrist was just to make me feel good. And what we started doing is like adding more medicines on, and more antidepressants. I just started, every time I was on a new antidepressant, I would get a horrible reaction. Nothing ever got any better, it just got worse. And every time you get on a new antidepressant, you gotta supposedly wait 30 days before the positives start kicking in anyway, so in the meantime, you're just like, when is this gonna work? I feel terrible. But what I was failing to do is realizing that the true problem wasn't anything more than the fact that I was addicted to a terrible drug. I decided that I was going to start getting off of Xanax and start lowering it down, but I wasn't finished drinking yet.
Right.
And then when you drink, you feel terrible the next day, and the one thing that makes you feel normal again, or at least enough to cope with life, is Xanax. So that's how I ended up, being on 3 a day to 4 to 5 when I'm like trying to get off of it, and I realized this drug's got a hold of me. I'm not controlling this drug. This drug's controlling me. So that's what I told my doctor, is that I need to get off of this drug. And we tried some different prescriptions to ease that, and I would get down to 3 or 4.5, and it was so bad. Even with the help with other drugs that were supposed to stabilize my mood, I mean, I just couldn't stand being in myself.
Right.
Like, all I wanted to do was sleep or go get a massage somewhere. It was like the only comfort that I could get besides taking the medicine, which is what I was trying to stop doing. I started trying a couple different types of top shelf medical marijuana from a collective where I trusted the guy a lot.
Right.
And not abuse, I didn't take it out, go out on the town with it or anything like that. I just took it at nighttime, or when I started having these really bad withdrawals from the Xanax. And I just take as much of it as I needed, and that has helped me in the last year probably to get down to 1 pill a day. So the last pill is the hardest. The last amount of this drug is the hardest to get off. One of my goals is just to be completely clean. I don't want to do any drug, but half the battle is realizing that you're not the only person fighting the battle, because there's comfort in knowing that you're not alone.
I'll try to be somebody